Ladies and gentlemen, it would seem that the Wuthering Waves community, or at least some people from the Wuthering Waves community, are mad at Gacha Smack. And I'm going to be honest, Gacha Smack is just another one of those CCs that kind of just puts his takes out there, and he's never doing it in a malicious way, more so just a conversational type of, scenario, right? He might cook, a dumbass or two, because some people need to be cooked. Like they were born to be cooked because they just have some brain dead takes. But outside of that, why y'all gotta be weird? I don't even know what the video's about, but I can guarantee he said something about his opinion or something, and some weirdos out there started getting pissed. So let's go ahead and see why people are mad at Gacha Smack today.
Okay, so I knew this was going to happen. Basically, long story short, a bunch of free-to-play mint pickers are narcissists.
Free-to-play mint pickers, bro. You know people gonna be mad, bro. I can't see the dislikes on the video, but I know he definitely got a couple hundred, bro. You know them free-to-plays. What you mean I'm a mint picker, bro? I grind for my shit, bro. I deserve this. I'm the GOAT, bro. You know some free-to-plays out there feel so entitled to wear that free-to-play badge like it was the greatest achievement, when in reality, don't lie to yourself. You'd be spending money if you could. Don't be lying. You would do it. Let's see what else he got to say.
Basically, only taking their own circumstance into consideration instead of looking at this from an objective standpoint and a business standpoint as a whole, as well as when you offer a premium product, it should come with a premium value. Otherwise, people are just going to stop pulling on the weapons.
Oh, it's about Augusta's weapon, isn't it? Yeah. So I remember you guys were talking to me about this other video that he dropped, talking about Augusta's weapon, right? And I remember that I dropped a video about 8 days or 9 days ago at this point, where I literally told you guys, yo, we've had people in the test server testing things out. You don't really need Augusta's weapon. Now, obviously, if you don't have Gion's weapon, yes, you want to pull Augusta's weapon, but her comparison damage wise to Gion's weapon was like very, very similar. Like Gion's weapon is like maybe 5 to 10% weaker than Augusta. So if you already had it and you were tight on gems, I specifically advise some of y'all to not pull her weapon. So I remember you guys were telling me about this video. So I'm guessing people didn't like that he said that y'all shouldn't pull for her weapon, or I don't really know what he said, but hey, let's see.
Now that said, there's a lot of disagreement in this comment section. I'm not going to go over every single comment. We're going to go ahead and like read them out, and then I'm going to explain to all these dipshits why they're wrong and I'm right. So let's go ahead and go down here and find a couple. Here goes one minute ago. I swear, Gacha Smack must
1 minute ago, bro.
Be bipolar in this video. He complains that the weapon costs more than a video game, and then he complains that it is not pay to win enough.
Well, I mean, that's retarded as hell. If a weapon costs more than a video game, it should be pretty damn strong. Don't y'all think? Now, once again, I'm not shitting on Augusta's weapon. I think her weapon is fine. I think the fact that, she's up there with Gion's weapon is also really good, because they are two premium weapons at the end of the day. But this comment makes no sense. If something costs as much as a video game, you expect to get that value out of it, right? It better be pretty damn good. So that's kind of counters itself.
How is it a problem? First of all, this makes zero sense.
Yeah, that shit makes no sense.
Because you just made yourself look retarded. You said,
bro, I swear to God, bro, this man be cooking people just like me, bro. Some people be stupid as hell in these comments, bro. I swear to God. Like, let me just show y'all. Let me just show y'all real quick. We're going off topic, but let me just show y'all. So I dropped this video, right, where I talk about, watch this before pulling where I talk about and a lot of different things, right? So like, I'm breaking down I'm breaking down several other units, yada, yada, yada. Why some motherfucker gotta go drop a comment like this on my video, bro? Why some dude gotta go out there and put some freaking gigantic freaking calculations on my video that all literally make no sense to what I'm talking about in the video, bro? Why are people... This man spent like an hour writing a comment on a random YouTuber's video. Like, this man said, I'm cooking, bro. Yeah, I'm the best, bro. I'm gonna go in here. He's gonna read every single one of these comments, every single one of these lines. My guy, I read like the first 3 words. You're cooked. Why do people always gotta do that, bro? Like, there always gotta be some dumbasses in these comment sections, bro.
I'm complaining that the weapon costs more than a whole video game. Yeah, true, I am. And I'm complaining that it's not pay to win enough. Duh. If it's gonna cost more than a whole video game, it better be quite pay to win, little bro. And
Okay, I'm not gonna lie though. I get where he's coming from, but the fact that he's specifically saying it better be really pay to win, you know, there's that alone is gonna be triggering people. I know he don't care. I don't care when we trigger people either. But I know that that alone is gonna trigger some people. Like if he would have said it better be really strong or something, but the fact that he said it better be very pay to win or something, yeah, people not gonna like that.
I'll explain to you why that's completely fine. Okay. Anyways, how is it a problem that Gion's weapon is just as good option and the new set is only slightly upgrade over the 1.0 set? Does he want rampant power creep and woo-wah similar to blank? So I'm not going to address every single comment. I just want to read over.
How is it a problem that Gion's weapon is just as good option and the new set is only slightly upgrade over the 1.0 set? So I don't think that's particularly a problem, because once again, you're comparing her premium weapon to another premium weapon, and it's still 10% better. Now, I would understand if like Augusta's weapon was only 10% better than like the standard banner broadsword. Then that would be a problem, right? Then it would be like, yo, you just made a whole weapon that's like barely better than the standard banner that was out freaking a year ago. But if we're comparing two limited banner weapons, I understand that, right? I understand that.
From just to provide you guys the proof of just how many dumb fucks are in the comment section, and then we'll get into like my whole entire thought process and why I'm literally objectively correct about this. How is it a problem that Gion's weapon is just as good option? First of all, what is the purpose of a signature weapon that costs $100 if it's just going to be similar in value to another signature weapon that, by the way, is more universal and it does the same damage?
Okay, so there's two things in there. Gion's weapon is very universal. Once again, like we talked about earlier in the other video, the reality of it is that the first ever weapons they released into the game, even to this day, hold a lot of value. Like let's be real to ourselves. Gion's weapon, amazing for many characters, right? Yinlin's weapon. Yinlin's weapon is usually the second best option to almost every rectifier character. That weapon's just an absolute freaking amazing weapon, right? The same can be said about like Jin Shi's and Shang Li's weapon, right? So in that regard, yes, let's be real. Most other weapons nowadays are very restrictive, and Augusta's weapon is right up there, just as restrictive as some of the other weapons. So that is true. I do get where he's coming from with that, but this part,
that, by the way, is more universal and it does the same damage.
I'm not going to say that Gion's weapon and Augusta's weapon do the same damage. After doing a lot of testing on the test server and all that good stuff, you can clearly see the difference between Gion and Augusta's weapons if you're paying attention to the numbers. But not enough to where like it actually matters. You're still dealing amazing damage with Gion's weapon, but the reality of it is that it doesn't deal the same damage. Augusta's weapon still deals more damage on Augusta than Gion's weapon, like a signature weapon should, even if it's little.
You might as well turn this signature weapon into a skin that costs $10 because that's now the value of the weapon. However, as we know in the gacha game, it's not $10, it's $100. And there's
that's a hot take right there, but
a lot of people out there who are questioning why it's $100. It's that simple. Now, the new set is only slightly upgrade over the 1.0 set. So pray tell, if I've already got a perfectly good operating set that is getting the exact same clear time, or maybe a second or two slower, somewhere in the same ballpark, maybe a second or two faster, why on God's green earth would you put another set in the game that's going to do the same shit? What is the purpose of this?
So on this ballpark, I can't really comment. I don't like really throwing out information that I myself have not tested, and I haven't tested the brand new 3-piece set versus the 5-piece set, you know, Electro. I haven't tested that. So I don't know if the damage is that minuscule where it's barely noticeable. I don't know that. I do know that this particular set is very unique and catered to Augusta's whole playstyle, so I just went with that. But it's interesting to hear that it barely has a difference. at least from what he's saying and I'm understanding, right?
There is no meaningful reason for that new set to be in the game when you can just keep the old set. Even as a newer player, you can just farm the old set. There is no legitimate reason. It's just slop content at that point. It's a waste of fucking space is what it is. So with that said, clown number one out of the way, let's continue. I'm not going to do the rebuttal to every single comment. It'll take
This man be roasting multiple people at a time, bro. Shit, I be roasting like 2 folks with dumb takes in my comments. He one-upped me, bro. He's out here cooking multiple folks.
take the video too long. Okay, y'all guys are never happy. I don't know how I got roped in with whoever the hell he's roping me in with. Make up your mind. Do we want a Frolova type of weapon or do we want an Augusta type of weapon? I never once said anything about Frolova's weapon. This happens a lot in the on the internet. You get people who will basically read a bunch of different like perspectives, right? So they'll be like, oh, this guy's complaining about this, guy's complaining about this. And then when somebody else comes along and says, wait, this sucks, they just automatically take everybody else's complaint and make you the singular target of that complaint. And so you are accused of things you've never said.
They be putting words in your mouth, or they be like twisting the narrative of what you're trying to say. That literally happened to me in this video right here. So basically I went right here and I dropped this video, which is I compared Yuno as a supporter that increases damage. That's all we're talking about in this video, how these characters increase damage. So I compared her to 3 other supporters in the game that increase damage. And then I looked at their kits, and then I paired them up with other either best in slot characters for them or DPS characters, main DPS units, and how they can, you know, link up with them and support them, right? A random dude sees this and goes, well, how come you didn't add Zhang Xing to Yuno? Because I pretty much said that Yuno only has 4. In reality, it's 5 because I made a mistake in the video. I didn't put it in here that she also pairs up with Peebs. But they're like, how are you going to say that she only has 4 people that she can pair up with? Why didn't you add Zhang Xing into the list? Are you dumb, bro? Every character in here is a main DPS outside of strictly synergistic characters, like, for example, Lupa and Brandt, or Rosha and Cantarella. Every other character that these units can support, be it a small buff, is literally a main DPS. Why the hell would I add Zhang Xing here? That's like saying, yo, yeah, I'm just going to add Sanhua into the Zheji lineup because she can get buffed by Glacio. So people start twisting your words all the time, and you got to be hyper-specific and then cook them for being stupid. And I know that's what he's doing right now, bro. Some people on the internet just be dumb, bro.
It's just like, I don't know what it is. It's a chronically online trait. They just can't differentiate that different people have different takes. I don't know. I'm sorry, Smack, but a lot of those points sound good for free to play and low spenders. Even as someone that gets every character and weapon, there's a bit of value there if you care enough. Also, the point on the set is okay with me because it makes some people have to grind for every new set that comes out. Just use an older set and get almost the same value out of the character with something you've been grinding for a while, especially because the way the new sets are, you don't get tuners or tubes from the fields. So it seems like he agrees with me on that part. But the first part, he's saying it sounds good for free to play and low spenders. So here's the thing. Free to play and low spenders don't have a problem in Wuthering Waves because Wuthering Waves power creep isn't problematic. It never has been problematic.
Yeah, it's
and
not
this
that
is where
big of a
I'm
deal.
going to get into it. You can go through this freaking comment section and you can you'll just see it's a lot of morons who just don't know how to have good argumentation. Now let's go ahead and talk about the core root of the problem. First of all, anybody making an argument about free to play and low spenders having a problem with signature weapons in Wuthering Waves, you're a literal fucking retard. And let me
Bro, I love the fact that he just straight up cooks them. Like, he don't even hold back. Like, you're dumb. Nah, you're just a retard. Like, he goes straight at their neck vein, bro.
explain why. The baseline difficulty of Wuthering Waves can always be cleared with free-to-play resources. You quite literally never have to spend on a singular signature weapon in this game due to its high skill expression and high skill ceiling. You can always clear all contents in the game. It's been that way since day one. There is no reason for you to pull on a signature weapon unless you want to. Unless you want to, okay? If you want to be greedy and stupid, you can do it.
And listen, I know a lot of you, I know there's a lot of people here that will disagree with what he just said, right? With the whole, you don't have to pull signature weapons. You can clear all the content in the game with, like, regular standard banner weapons or just random things like that. And y'all want to argue with the hell nah, there's power creep, there's HP inflation, yada yada yada. Yeah? Say that to the Don Jin mains. Say that to Rexlin clearing everything with doo-doo as Yohu. Say that to people clearing Hakade with a solo Lumi. Yes, there's not a lot of people that can do that, but if they can do it with a 4-star character, one, you're going to tell me that you can't do it with a full roster of 5-star characters just because they don't have their signature weapon? Sounds to me like a skill issue.
Right? But there's actually no legitimate reason in terms of necessity. You know why power creep was a problem in HSR? Because the baseline would raise with the new strengths of the SIGs and the newer characters coming out to the point where your account would eventually become obsolete and ass.
Yeah.
That made signature weapons a necessity. It made pulling on newer characters a necessity. But as you can see in Wuthering Waves, we're using fucking Mortefi, who came out in 1.0. We're still using Shorekeeper as the universal synergist. We're still using Verena. There is no power creep problem in Wuwa. There's never been a power creep problem.
So before people go at him for this, he's not denying that there has been some power creep. That's not what he's saying. He's saying there is no power creep problem. You can still clear all the content with your units, right? Be it older units or even the newer units. There is, power creep in the damage some of the units do. Like if you compare a unit like Gion to a unit like Cardathea, both arrow units, you will see that Cardathea does a lot more damage. That's not something we can even discuss. But it's not a problem to where the characters are getting so much stronger and all of that it's a problem. It's just simply, it's there, but it's not an issue.
And so we're at the point now where free-to-play players are not mad because the weapon is signature is substantially stronger and it is power creep. They're mad because they're insecure.
There we go. He just said it. It is power creep. Like, they are getting stronger, but it's not a problematic power creep, right?
Projecting that their account and their wallet can't afford the signature weapon. You see, there's a massive difference here.
Yep.
And these people are so narcissistic to the point where they don't want you to have nice things that you spent a lot of money on.
Yep.
Because that makes them feel insecure about themselves and their own account. It's loser mentality.
Bro, it's that loser ass mentality, bro. Like, I used to post videos back in the day with S0 R1 clears. And I'm telling you, when I like a character, I dedicate every resource into mid-maxing that character's echoes, that character's builds. Obviously, I'm going to get them their signature weapon. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't give a shit if the signature weapons in this game all gave the same stats. Like, if every signature weapon gave, like, I don't know, 20 crit rate, 20 crit damage, and attack, I would still pull the signature weapon because it looks good next to the character. Going back to what I was saying, I would upload these videos at S0 R1, and the title would be like, I don't know, Shang Li free-to-play showcase. People would be so mad in my comments. How dare you say this is a free-to-play showcase? You have the signature weapon. Bitch, what? What are we talking about? Bro, it got so bad. How dare you say this is a free-to-play showcase when you have amazing echoes? That ain't free-to-play. Bro, it was that loser mentality. Yo, you got so many things that are so good, I can't get them or I haven't gotten them, so you suck. You're doing all these things wrong, and it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you ain't mad about certain things like that. You're just mad you can't get them, or whatever it might be the reason, right? Because complaining about a character and their signature weapon is stupid. I've had people literally in my comments talking about, you should make tier lists without ranking the signature weapons. Because there are some of us that like pulling multiple characters and don't care about the weapons. And I'm like, yo, that's fine. If you like pulling multiple characters and not pulling their signature weapons, that's absolutely fine. But then don't bitch when someone does a video or talks about a free-to-play unit and their signature weapon when you actively chose to not get the weapon so you can get every big booty, big titty waifu that drops. Right? Like, that makes literally no sense to me, bro. Everybody in this game that plays it can get the character they like and their signature weapon every time, as long as you're not trying to get every single character and every weapon, because in all honesty, why the hell would you even do that? Like, bro, what is the purpose of wanting to get every character that drops if you can't even play them? Like, what you're gonna play 10 minutes with every character in your account every time you log in just because, yeah. Like, what are we talking about? Bro, build your teams, get your units, get your weapons, and you can always get more characters on the rerun. Or just play however you want, but then don't bitch at people that are smarter with their decisions, even other free-to-plays. I have tons of free-to-play people in my Discord and people that I know that play this game that have the Mono Fusion with their weapons, that have like the Mono Havoc with their weapons, that get the characters and their weapons, and then they have no problem clearing content because they make the right decisions, bro. So that loser mentality gotta go. Y'all gotta go get some pussy. Y'all gotta go outside and smoke some grass. I mean, touch some grass. Y'all gotta do something, bro. Cause y'all can't be living life like that, bro. Be better.
Get out the damn room, go touch some grass, go get a job and better your life.
Yes.
And you won't care about these things. It's a single player video game.
Yes.
The only reason a signature weapon being substantially stronger than all other weapons should ever be a problem is if you hop on this game and you're not using the SIG weapon and you just can't clear the content.
Yep.
If you can clear all content in the game, not just by a fucking hair, not just by a hair's breadth, but like comfortably with 30 seconds remaining on the clock in Tower of Adversity, whimpering waist, knocking it out no problem. Holograms, you can clear them hoes with one character. Hell, people go in the tower with 2 characters.
That's what I was saying, bro. Like, I don't get it, bro. How can people like how can you sit there in front of your computer and type that you can't clear certain content or that you need the signature weapons, and then there's a dude on the same platform that you're commenting on, that being YouTube for the most part, showcasing how he clears the game mode you're saying you can't clear with your full team of 5-star characters, and that person is clearing it with a 4-star. Do you not look at yourself and feel embarrassed that you're even out here talking shit about the teams and needing weapons when there's a dude clearing everything with the freaking Yohu, with the Shishia, with the Lumi, with standard? Like, what are we talking about, bro?
There is no legitimate reason for you morons to be mad about signature weapon power creep. Because here's the funny thing. I guarantee you these same people are Kurobots that defend the billion-dollar company. And now they're mad that people are trying to give money to this company that they defend so fucking like psychotically.
Bro, you know what's crazy? What he just said? So these as he says, Kurobots, bro, or you know, Hoyo shills, whatever, they be like hardcore defending their company. My company don't do no wrongs. My billion-dollar company is amazing. The moment they see a whale, bro, the moment they see someone pulling all the characters and their signature weapons and clearing the content and doing builds and showcasing a unit's full potential with the weapons, oh my god, bro. They go at their necks. You're trash. That's not free to play. Why would you spend all that? Why would you S6 a character? I'm literally giving money to the company that you're out here dick sucking on. Why are you mad that I'm supporting the company? I don't even, like, logically, 95% of the arguments of a lot of these dumbasses that do things like this make no sense, bro. Like, they legit make no sense, bro.
Well, now you don't want people to give them money. That's what we're complaining about. Get this. If they don't improve the signature weapon value, then people are going to stop pulling and spending on the signature weapons. Why the fuck would I pull on a premium priced weapon that doesn't have premium value? It's the same value as other SIGs. It's aesthetic, which by the way, there's comments in here quite literally mad that I said it should offer more of an aesthetic value. I even put in my pinned comment, I'll take aesthetic power creep over actual DPS power creep. There was a motherfucker that was mad about that. It's like, at this point, you are now arguing.
Bro, people just be getting mad, bro.
That this business should not be operated the way a business should be operated. Hey, guys, here's the premium weapon. It's going to give you comfort and efficacy activation for its ability. It's going to give you some damage increase, and it's going to give you some aesthetic pleasing visuals that aren't mid, but high quality. But
Okay, so maybe he wasn't that pleased that the difference between Gion's weapon and Augusta's weapon is so low, right? Like 10%. So, let's play devil's advocate and let's see, all sides of things. I personally feel that a signature weapon should always be better on the character than any other option in the game, which is the case with Augusta's weapon. It is the better option than any other weapon in the game, right? It is 10% better than the second best premium weapon that you can put on her. So that checks, right? More value than any other weapon on the character that the weapon's supposed to be on. But maybe Gacha Smack was thinking more than a 10% value to the point where you can use Gion's weapon and still clear all content because, like he said, you don't really need the signature weapons. But if you do happen to get the signature weapon, a minuscule value like 5-10% increase is not enough to satisfy what he's saying, right? Maybe a 20 to 25% increase on a signature weapon's damage on the specific character. But that's where we start to talk about, well, if it's a 25% difference from the second best, it just starts going down the line. And by the time we get to the free-to-play options, it'll be like a 40-50% difference, and people wouldn't like that. So there's a lot of sides and balancings and things like that. I do get where he's coming from. I do get where other people are coming from in regards to that. I still think Augusta's weapon is her best in slot. Obviously, that's not debatable. And yes, it's very close to Gion, but at the same time, it would be very hard to implement her and give her like a 25% difference from Gion, because if I'm not mistaken, her second, or not second, but her first option as a free to play, I don't remember if it's like the standard banner 5-star. And I believe it's already like a 30% difference. So if we add to that another like 10-15% difference, it'll be about a 40 plus difference between the free to play options. And I know people be getting mad at that. You don't need the weapons, but at the end of the day, it's a tough subject. I think I agree, though. I do think that signature weapons should provide a more unique feel to the characters they're doing. And even though I do think that Augusta's does that to a certain degree, and I was also surprised when I saw the difference between Gion and Augusta, where it's almost not noticeable. It is noticeable, but not like, oh, snap, okay, which is not that bad either,
But it's going to cost $100 upwards. How could you complain about a completely reasonable, not necessity, but want for people who are willing to pay for that product? Now, my video is me complaining about a product I already paid for. I'm with it. It is what it is. I have that right to complain about a product I've already paid for and say this product doesn't really match the value I spent on it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but I would like for you guys to provide more of a value for the price that you're charging. See, this is like unrefutable argumentation. There's no good reason for you goofy ass niggas to be mad at this. And once again,
I'm going to have to use that on my videos, bro, because I grew up with a Haitian and Jamaican best friend, right? So my language was not bro, dude, and man. It was something more along the lines of,
see, this is like unrefutable argumentation. There's no good reason for you goofy ass niggas to be mad at this. And
so whenever some goofy ass bumba clot be in my comments talking shit, I'm gonna hit him with that little clip right there.
Once again, I want to provide tangible evidence of the retardation going on in
the Hey, yo, homie just said the retardation going on in my comments, bro.
Comment section. This particular part is where things are going to go ugly from the community. I don't give a fuck about things going ugly from the community. You niggas aren't that intelligent. Let's add a little bit
He's funny as shit,
more
bro.
To the signature to give more value to it. Because if every single weapon gets access to this, that diminishes the value of the signature. The only thing the signature does is, like I said, when you're in her ultimate state. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So when you're in her ultimate state, this is the value you get, right? This is what I'm literally
I don't know what he was trying
arguing
to say there,
that a
but
signature weapon should have more aesthetic properties
to
be appeasing on the eye of the guy who dropped a hundo. And these motherfuckers are like, the community's not gonna like that.
Okay, first off, if he's arguing right there that it should just have a more aesthetic feel to it, I gotta go with him on that because let's be real. You pulled fucking what's her name? Zani's gauntlet. What the bro? She has a giant shield and a broadsword, and you barely see her gauntlets. Like, sure, they might be there, but like, really, bro? You pull Lupa's beautiful, amazing sword. You see that shit for like half a second every 3 rotations. You might peek it from the corner of your eyeball. Other than that, you don't see it. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So yeah, I do think that if I'm gonna pull a signature weapon that, like he says, could be worth about $100, it should provide at least more of an aesthetic feel to it. And once again, how the hell are y'all mad about something that doesn't even provide a buff or a power creep? Yo, that shit looks more badass than the last weapon. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Design creep. These are predatory devs. Screw this game. What are we talking about? Bro, if you have Cardathea and you like Cardathea, you see her in fleur-de-lis form, you want to die by snoo sucker toes and get asphyxiated by her booba, why would you not want her to have a weapon that pairs beautifully with her, that has some insane animations that are unique to the weapon, if you're going to spend your hard-earned astrite summoning for a stupid weapon over a whole new character? Wouldn't you want the weapon, and we're just talking about aesthetics, wouldn't you want it to provide at least that much of a bonus for it to look amazing? I'm just saying.
Not because that is power creep, because it's visual and it matches the price of the product. It's like, bro, this is how you know how delusional, how unbelievably cooked people in the gacha community are. It's unreal. It's uncanny. They don't understand like common sense, fundamental business ethics. All they think is my scenario, I don't have it, so nobody else should be able to have it either.
Yep. And bro, he's pretty much said everything he needed to say. I gotta be honest, I agree with a lot of the things I heard in the video. I explained my thoughts and my takes regarding a lot of these things. And to end it, I feel that a lot of people in the internet, one, are exactly like he said. They have this freaking mentality that if it doesn't apply to me, then I don't care for it, right? I talk about this all the time. They just added Flight to 1.0. Since 2.0, since I came back to Withering Waves and I seen Flight, I said, we need Flight in 1.0. It would be amazing to have Flight in 1.0, right? All the new people would get Flight. Over the next few months, I would always bring it up, and there would always be somebody that would say, we don't need Flight in 1.0. I never go there. I don't need Flight there. I've already 100%ed all the maps, right? It doesn't apply to them, so they don't care. And there's so many people out there like that. Then you have the people that will twist your words and add more shit to things you never said. And then there are people that simply can't understand the words that you're saying. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? No, they don't, because they're retarded. That's just the reality of it. But yeah, man, let me know what you think about this video. At the end of the day, I don't have a problem with Augusta. I think her weapon is fine. I do think that the cosmetic side of things that he was talking about, 100% agreed. Especially on the characters I mentioned, where you don't even see their freaking weapon despite their weapons looking amazing. But yeah, man, Smack out here smacking, folks. Appreciate y'all for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. But don't talk smack, because you might get cooked on my next video. Peace.